Hi, I'm B News producer Sydney Bowles, and you're watching our monthly Town Administrator Update, where I sit down with Town Administrator Paul Sagarino to talk about the latest and greatest and what's been going on in Burlington. Paul, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here, Sydney.
How are you? What's going on?
I'm having a great summer. I think we would all agree the weather hasn't been ideal this summer, but it's warm out, and I've been having a lot of fun making the best of it. So far so good.
Glad to hear it.
How about yourself?
It's been great. I've been just thriving this summer. It's fabulous.
Glad to hear it.
Okay, so big stuff is going on though. I think following the news this past month, the biggest thing has been the capital projects that are in various stages of happening. We've got the Fox Hill School Building Committee, which you are a member of, correct?
Yes.
And we've got the new school committee to maybe start looking into a feasibility study for the high school. And then there's the feasibility study on the police station that's been going on for some time now. That's a lot. Ultimately, you're the guy that sort of has to spearhead and manage all of these projects. So how do you think about all of those needs and projects at the same time?
It's a challenge because historically the town has had the ability to sort of spread these out a little bit. But we're really at a point now where we really have to keep continuing investing in the town's infrastructure. Up until about 4 years ago, I'd say that we would be right on target to do these projects sort of in line as to what they were, but the price escalations that have occurred since the beginning of the pandemic have just added a real new layer of complexity. I mean, I would say about 4 years ago, I think Woburn did an elementary school for about $32 million, and now we're talking about $100 million. So it's just game-changing numbers that have really caused us to put a lot of thought into how we proceed, because again, I think $100 million for an elementary school when it was $40 million, or 45 potentially million for a police station when it used to be $30 million. Those are substantial increases, and I don't think anyone could have anticipated such an insane increase in construction costs. But the town's going to be here for hundreds of years to come, so we always have to continually invest in the infrastructure that we use to provide services to the citizens. So we have to stick with it, as scary as it may seem.
I mean, is it something like, well, the kid wants to go to Disneyland, it's just not in the budget this year, or is it the kid wants to go to Disneyland, we're going to figure out how to make it happen? Not that a new police station is Disneyland. Maybe I shouldn't have made that metaphor. You know what I mean, though? Is it some things we just can't have, or some things we can't have right now? How do you...
Well, like I say, town meeting will ultimately make the decision. We look at these needs. The police station's been inadequate for a long time now. When they moved into it, I'm thinking maybe back in the 80s or 90s, it was already, an ancient building, and it's not designed for police work. It doesn't have all the ideal safety functions you would have in a modern police station. And, likewise with the Fox Hill School, it's just buildings outlive their usefulness. Cities and towns, we do use our assets. If they say it has a useful life of 30 years, we're going to use it for 80 years, so, and we expect that. So we really don't get the opportunity to replace buildings often, and as a community we just need to continually invest in the infrastructure for the future. As we've seen, there's really no benefit to delaying anything, because the cost only goes up as time goes on.
Yeah, so I mean, these are, like I said at the beginning, these are projects that are in various stages of the process. What are the conversations happening right now? Are you meeting with Police Chief Thomas Brown? Are you meeting with Superintendent Eric Condi to talk about these things? What's the granular, how's that happening in this moment?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it involves working with the Ways and Means Committee. They're intimately knowledgeable about the town's finances. We work on my end of things. I work with the police chief in terms of developing the plan for the police station. I know Eric's doing the same, working with his school folks, and obviously we have the MSBA committee. But yeah, just a lot of discussions of, how we can do this, how we can time this. We have to be conscientious of the taxpayers, and we have to be conscientious of the financial situation in the country, and we have to be conscientious of the fact that we still need them to fund a budget every year for us to provide services to the residents. So it really is a very delicate conversation, and I think it's been going well, but these numbers are very intimidating, and I don't think, like I say, I don't think anyone would have anticipated such tremendous cost increases over the past 4 years.
On a little bit of a different topic, at the select board meeting on Monday, we got 2 new liquor licenses in town. It seemed like I'm sort of tipping my hand here. I didn't think that this was that big of a deal, but it seems like folks have been really sort of interested in this, either talking about, maybe there are too many liquor licenses in town, maybe it's a good thing that we have more options. Does it change anything for you to have more of these shops available? No,
but I mean, it's not a decision to be taken lightly. Obviously, there are different opinions towards alcohol within the community. You're never going to be able to satisfy everybody. Some people think that there's too many licenses. Some people would just assume have the opportunity to purchase, alcoholic items anywhere. And, it's definitely a balancing act. How many locations are available in a short area? We certainly never attempt to hurt other businesses by issuing licenses, and we hope that they can all coexist and sort of not, steal from each other in terms of customers and whatnot. And I think that's, the board works really hard to try to balance out all those issues. And, our small business owners have had a real struggle over the past few years. So I'm not surprised that some of, the businesses in the town center are looking to enhance, what they offer to the town. And, we do our police department does an outstanding job of sort of monitoring and testing alcohol compliance rules with, underage stings and things of that nature. So we take the service of alcohol very seriously. So I just want the residents to know that we don't take it lightly. And if somebody's issued a liquor license, we hold them to a very high standard, and we're constantly testing them to ensure that they're in compliance with the laws and regulations.
All right, last topic. This is continuing a story we've been discussing here on this show for quite some time, is your peppers. You told us a while ago, earlier this summer, that you're big into into growing peppers and making dried pepper flakes. You gave us here at BCAT a sample of your peppers from last year. Just this morning, our producer Robert, who's in the control room right now, was saying, dang, those are some good peppers, and wanted me to pass that on. How's the crop this year?
I appreciate that. I'm a little bit worried about the crop this year.
I thought the rain would be really good for them.
Yeah, I think they really thrive on the heat. They're sort of a tropics type plant in general. And, I learned all this stuff on the internet. So but at the same time, I haven't really gotten the height out of them that I've gotten in previous years. Okay. So I did tweak a couple things this year, so I'll have to go back and sort of see. They're definitely producing peppers. But there's just there's some differences there, and I can't really figure it out. But that's my goal, is to just prove that any jamoke could grow something by putting it in dirt and adding water. So that's my goal in being a gardener, and it's been successful so far. But we'll see. We got a ways to go, and I am a little bit nervous about the yield and how many peppers I'm going to get at the end of the year.
The proof will be in the pudding, and in this case, the pudding is when the seeds dry and you've got the flakes.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just newly interested in gardening, so I'm very personally invested now in what's a beginner to do. But anyway, thank you for that update. Very important topic. Paul, I think that's what I wanted to talk about with you this week. Thank you again for coming.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's been another episode of Town Administrator Update. Thank you for joining us.